All right, welcome to Bob's Radio TV once again. We're here to put a scene this time, and we've got someone who is the current champion of snooker in Karnataka, Sean Davis, otherwise known as Paya by a lot of people. Welcome, bro. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me here. It's an absolute honor.
I mean, it's a pleasure to be in the midst of a state champion. Someone who's worked hard for years together. I known you as an athlete, like cricket, football, all of that. But snooker, you've climbed the ladder. You've reached certain heights. We're here to just discuss that. But to just start, how long have you been playing?
I started playing, the first time I held a cue was when I was 12, back at Bunties, for the guys that remember NASA.
Okay.
Yeah, so my father was working in NASA and he just took me one evening to go and play pool.
NASA is the pub on Church Street.
Yeah,
the
the pub
parallel
on-
road to Church Street. Rest House Road.
On Church Street. Right now, I think it's where Mateo is, just
Oh,
next
okay,
to that.
okay.
Yeah, so that was NASA and below that they had a pool parlor.
Uh-huh.
Called Bunty. So that's when I first held the cue. And I didn't know I'd be what
But
I am.
12, you were allowed in the snooker parlor by
My father was working there, so I had benefits of going to NASA and going to Bunty's with him. And yeah, that was the first time I held
And
the
how
cue.
much were you paying to play a game of snooker back then?
I wasn't sure then. I think it was about, about 30, 40 bucks an hour for
Okay.
pool. And snooker, I didn't know then, so I wasn't sure of how much they paid.
30, 40 bucks. Okay, for then, I'm sure it wasn't like a regular stint at NASA for you because you were school and all
Yeah,
of that.
school
happened.
and cricket, football. Yeah, so a lot of sports, like you said, yeah.
From there, for it to come into a point where you decide that, okay, I'm going to pursue snooker,
Mhm.
it does take a certain amount of time for you to make that call. Well, you must have been playing across in different snooker parlors. You were quite
Yeah.
well known though,
Mhm.
right? Where are the snooker parlors you were playing regularly though?
Snooker balls that I was playing quite a lot actually. So I started off at CyberQ, which was opposite next to St. Joseph's Commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It was like an underground
Yeah,
place,
the
yeah.
underground place. So I started off there, played there for a bit, and for me it was progress. So I kept progressing from the small table, the pool-sized table, to then what we know as the French table, and after that the English table. So it was a progress.
Yeah,
from
this is
each.
lessons for a lot of
Yeah.
people like me who don't know what are the table sizes, what are they called.
Yeah, so you have three table sizes that we have here in Bangalore, actually across India and most
Okay.
of the world. So you have the small table, which is a 4 by 6 table, which
Mhm.
is a small table. Then you have 4 by 8 or 6 by 8 table, which is the French, and then you have your 6 by 12, which
6
is
by
your
12.
yeah.
Just to
6
talk,
by
I mean,
12
the
feet.
4 by 6 itself seems a little big. I mean, it takes a lot of effort, and of course, the time that's involved for you to get to this point, to pot these balls, for that distance. I mean, I can really fathom how it is. For you to come this journey, we have to just discuss that.
It's been an absolute roller coaster. I mean, from where I started, I didn't play the junior circuit as much because I was just playing in snooker balls just to have fun while away time. As time progressed, I think the first tournament I did well. I figured that I could play well was with Catholic Club actually.
Right.
Back in 2006, this guy Steven Intouch was a very close friend of mine. So he was the one who taught me how to play snooker, and it was rough at that time. So I was just practicing, trying a lot of nonsense, and no one wanted to partner with me to play the tournament. I finally called Steven and said, you know what, dude, there's this tournament. Do you want to play? He said, yeah, fine, let's go for it. And we managed to reach the finals in that tournament, beating some of the big names at that time. Rajkumar, who is one of the top players in the state, and another guy called Arshad. We beat them in the finals, which started at 5:30 and got over at around 11:30 in the night.
That's how long your game went.
Yeah, it was a best of 5. First 2 games got over in 20 minutes.
Do snooker games go that long usually?
No, actually we were amateurs, so we just knew to pot the ball from anywhere.
Okay.
That was something we were good at, and we were playing players that were way above our level,
Right.
really good. And I think Rajkumar was one of the top national players at that time. And we were down 2-0 in 20 minutes, and the next 3 frames went for 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 45 minutes, and 1 hour 15 minutes.
So when you say 2-0, I think you lost the first 2 frames.
Yeah, the first 2 frames we were trailing 2-0, 2 frames to 0, and then we ended up winning. So I think that's when we realized that
You
we
got
have the
some
potential.
gifts.
There was something about the game that drew me to it. And simultaneously, while I was playing that tournament, I also did another local tournament for the guys in Bangalore. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Prime Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played.
Ashish Balal's place.
Yes, Ashish Balal's place. So I was playing a tournament in Shantinagar next to Arts and Science.
Right.
Yeah, so I won that tournament as well. And yeah, that's when I knew that we wanted to be recognized. We said the people in Bangalore should know who we are when it comes to the game.
I mean, recognized you were. I remember, I mean, I'm not someone who's played snooker very,
Mhm.
constantly or kept it consistent. But I know that some of my friends who regularly went to these parlors and played, they always, kept ringing this name all the time, Sean, Bugger Sean. And then finally they met you as well after a really long time. So, of course, you've gone playing in different snooker parlors across the
Mhm.
city. Have you ever played LP in...
I play LP a lot, actually. As a matter of fact, when I go to one of my friends' place, Bangalore Snooker Academy, the owners there are one. So I train there as well. I train with Sightright. I'll speak a little about that in a bit. So whenever I go there, it's losers to pay the table money.
Oh, it's still the case?
Yeah, it's still the case.
But there have been people, who would go play with people who don't know how to play at all, just so that, you can make some money and also fake like, oh, I don't know how to play, and then you suddenly go potting all the balls. Have you done that?
Yeah, I have. I've done, teenagers,
So these are
youngsters.
the
we've
people.
done.
These are the people you should not believe in a snooker parlor.
No, but I think now my name just kind of is very well known here. Touchwood.
And I'm talking about back then. Now you can't go
Back
back in
then,
time.
you can't. So before, yeah, we could do that. We did have the option of doing that because not a lot of people knew us. But as time moved forward, it is difficult to do that, man. You have people coming and trying to hustle you. And dude, seriously.
I've seen it happen so many times. I remember there's once this guy was playing something, and I looked at him and thought, maybe I could beat him. I don't know why, but I thought just maybe. First 2 shots, our man was like missing all over the place, and he would purposely miss the cue ball itself.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, bro, I think I'm making some money today. And then he just went all bonkers.
Yeah, when you put the money on the table, it's a different thing. Yeah,
But I lost $20. It's okay.
And that, I mean, it's still money nevertheless. I think that's how people start. I don't think snooker has kind of hit that thing as it's a sport that you can pursue. It's just something that you do
It's
just
a
to have
passion
fun
and a hobby.
And yeah, just to have fun, just
And a
hang out with
recreational
friends.
activity.
Yeah, it's a recreation kind of thing. But the thing that I didn't know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know, but is the fact that you can actually do well playing the sport. Not as well as you would with other sports like cricket, say cricket or football, badminton, so on. But you can find yourself a job if you start early. The one thing that I did, which I don't want others to do as well, is thinking that you can have fun with friends and just while away time. But when you think that you want to take it seriously, if it's too late, it's difficult for you to do things, which I'm suffering with now. But nevertheless, I think it's just the passion and the want to do better than what you did before. The fact that you want to just compete.
I mean, this comes across a lot of people, go through times where you want to do something, but then you while our time away
Mhm.
and then go back and look at what it is and you regret and all that. That is something we're going to discuss about in terms of your point of view as far as snooker as a game is concerned. But to just understand, this is like a self-funded sport most of the times.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
What kind of a burnout was it like for you in terms of the finances?
It still is a big burnout. Like when you have to travel for nationals, especially a player that doesn't have any backing or doesn't have a job that pays them to play snooker, like a lot of others do. Not a lot, but a few others do. It's putting money out of your pocket that's difficult. When you travel out, you're spending a month in a different place. Like if I travel up north, it is expensive for me. I think the last couple of times I traveled to Indore, Pune, Bhopal, which was expensive. I spent about close to about $1.5 lakh for that month to play both the tournaments, and that's a big
Yeah.
hole in the pocket, and it is difficult. Yes.
And
Very-
sometimes, people think, okay, instead of paying so much and going to these places and playing and all that,
Mhm.
there might be a thought, why don't people just buy a table so they can practice at home? Because the reason you go play is also to practice.
Yeah.
So Why isn't that a possibility? Is it because the cost of the tables being that?
Yeah, everything is expensive. The cost of a table now since the game is progressing so much, the tables that we use comes down from China. We use the Shender tables, the Strachan, and that table costs about upwards of 3.5 lakhs a table. And if you have to change the cloth, say about that's about 7,000-8,000 bucks a meter.
Whoa.
You need about I think you need about 10-12 meters, and the accessories, your cue, like the cue that I use now, is an Omen that comes from Thailand.
Okay.
So you have I think you have a couple of cue makers here, Nagi cues, and there's another guy called Kiran that makes cues that's just started to make.
Right.
68,000.
For someone who's listening to it and doesn't know, like, why don't you just break a branch and chisel it down and just play with it?
No, it's the wood that they use.
Yeah.
They use ash and maple. It needs to be seasoned like a bat. You just can't make a bat out of
Totally.
like tennis ball. You can, but if you're looking at playing with proper cricket, you need that solid wood.
Right. But, again, those numbers are like startling, in terms of pricing that's involved. And of course, when you look at it the long term, like how much you guys have spent, have you ever thought, man, I just bought a table, this kind of money? But that, I understand, is also another issue. Place is the issue. But of course, consistency and determination to get to a point in life in the game. Because I know a few people as well who've been trying for a really long time to get some sort of a funding, to get some sort of a positioning in terms of snooker or billiards is concerned. Before I move on to that, just want to throw this in and ask you, what is it like? Pankaj Advani is a name that's well known not just in Bangalore but across the country, right? I mean, world over. I shouldn't be just saying country, but across the world. Now he comes from our state. So if you're number one, where does Pankaj stand then?
I'm number one in the state. Pankaj has been number one nationals, all India, and he's actually a Guinness Book World Record holder. I think he's won 26, 27 titles. That is not something that is very easy to do. You get all the recognition in different sports. It's a shame that it's the way it is, but that is reality. He's a very good friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, and as a matter of fact, we were sparring yesterday. We were training. We were just getting a couple of games yesterday, and I still remember the first time he saw me. He said, "You're a very good player born in the wrong country." So it is. I mean, he's done it all in terms of India. He's put India on the map in terms of snooker. Another good name to bring up is Ishpreet Singh Chadha. Currently, he's in the UK. God bless him, and I hope he does well. He's beaten some of the big names. He's beaten Anthony McGill. He's gone toe to toe with the world champion Luca Vassell, and he's been able to hold his own. And that kind of inspires all of us to be able to do well. He's a lot younger. He's got a lot of years under his belt, and both of them have paved the way for us. Another good name to mention is Aditya Mehta. So the three of them have put India on the map in terms of the snookers.
When you look at Pankaj's numbers, they're like, what is this for someone who's 38 years old? There's trophies more than the age. The number of trophies as is beyond his age itself.
Yeah.
Like 25, a certain kind of trophy, and I'm like, dude, you just can't, note them down. There's so many that he's won.
Yeah.
And every Bangalore is proud to, have Pankaj amidst us, known as a Bangalore boy as well. So now from Pankaj, we come to Sean Davis again. Right. So have you ever played against Pankaj? You've played yesterday.
Yeah, we like I said,
competitively.
Competitive? No, we actually haven't had the chance to play. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, at some point.
But what has been the reason, like, competitive? Is it because you're lying in that position of?
No, it's not that. We just haven't had the chance to play. So in terms of nationals, I've played a very few tournaments, all India tournaments or national tournaments. I've played a very few, just like 5 or 6 of them. And I've never actually made it to the point where I get to play the likes of Pankaj. I've played quite a few players, but I've never had the chance to compete against Pankaj or to sit on the other side of Pankaj and compete with him. Would love to do it. I'm pretty sure that he would love to play with me as well, hopefully. But yeah, he's a force to reckon with. He's very set in his ways, very strong in terms of his mind, and I've learned a lot from him in the past couple of years. He's just a confident person.
You're of the same age, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think he's 38. Yeah, 38.
I just checked. I Wikipedia it. So when you look at this, there's also this part of it where two of you are friends, great friends, and same age as well.
Mhm.
But then you see Pankaj right up there, like way beyond. You ever had this thought, like, man, if I just started earlier, maybe some thoughts about being somewhere where Pankaj is.
I never thought it was possible. Being very honest, I have very bad. I know it may not come across, but I have very bad self-confidence issues. So I never thought I'd be here either. I started the game 25 years ago. Never thought I would get here. I think 2016 is when I finished second in the state, and I was never able to go any further. Top 64 India, but that was it. And then I met this guy who was one of the coaches in Bangalore. His name is Pranit Ramchandrani, and he trains people here under sight right. So he's a trained professional sight right coach. He's worked with a lot of big names, and so I went for the second. I did the first session with him, which was a 2-hour session. I went in for the next one, and halfway through he said, "If I ask you something, would you be alright with it?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead." He's like, "What if I ask you to drop everything you learned for 18 years and learn from scratch again?" This was back in 2018.
Start all over.
Yeah, start all over. And I didn't even think about it. I just said, "Yes, come, let's go and start." And through the session, he kept saying, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I said, "Yeah." Like, what is the worst that can happen?
But did you have to pay for this coaching?
Yeah, I had to pay for it. So that he does a lot of things for me as well. I'm not going to go into the financials of it. But yeah, Pranit asked me, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, let's try it. Let's see what will happen." My wife was against it.
Okay.
My wife, my mother-in-law were against it. They said, from being this attacking player, getting into this.
They also snooker aficionados, right?
Yeah, so my wife's grandfather, great-grandfather, one of the founders, or the ones who started snooker in Bangalore.
Oh, wow.
If anyone knows Green's, Tom's, just next to Kaveri Emporium.
Right.
So that was theirs. The snooker parlor was theirs. They started it off, and what do you know? I'm married into a family of snooker players.
No wonder the journey is like taking you further. I think the wife's brought in the luck of climbing up the ladder.
Yeah, she's been really supportive. I think I wanted to finish. I wanted to stop playing back in 2016 before I finished second in the state, and she said no. She got me she gifted me a cue, and I think last year.
She gave you the cue to stick to the game.
Yeah, she said, "I don't want you stopping the game." She curses about it, but but
that comes with it, though.
Yeah, it comes with it. But I think only when I tell her I'm going to play snooker is the time that she does not say anything. If I say I'm going out anywhere else, then then it's a different situation. But then last year I said that this is going to be my last tournament, my last state ranking. If I don't win it, I'm not playing.
Okay.
I said because I'm not making much from the game. So when that happened, I think the day of the semi-finals, when I was going for the match, she said, "Are you still sure that this is going to be your last tournament?" I said, "If I don't win the tournament, I'm not playing again." And what do you know? It turned out to be
you
different.
might wish for some things, but then there's another willingness from somebody else that overpowers all of this.
Yeah. So again, it's all thanks to Pranit, sight right. I wouldn't be where I am because of the program and Pranit, my coach, my wife, and your chair, Miss Becky.
Miss Becky.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the family.
the one that he
family.
mentions is one of my junior school teachers, Miss Rosalind Beck. We affectionately called her Cher and Miss Beck.
Miss Beck, yeah. So they've been very supportive of me, helped me in whatever way they could. A lot of people did, and I'm very grateful for it to be where I am because of that help. Coming back to sight right. So when we started off, my wife used to call me a prissy princess when I was around the table. From being this very attacking, over-aggressive person on the table to playing like a prissy princess. She said it looked like you were doing ballet around the table. So
wife's giving you banter, bro. That is some banter.
yeah, so because it was such a transition for me from where I started to where I ended up when I first started with sight right. What would actually take me about 4 or 5 years to work on happened last year within like 4 or 5 months. worked really hard, started understanding what side right is. Pranit kept helping me since 2018. And we just started working a lot on technique and approach and everything. And well, my
The
game
results
has
have shown.
changed. The results have shown. 5 years of hard work with him paid off. Managed to win the state title. It's not going to stop here. It's going to hopefully go further. And I can't look back at what I used to do before and how Side Right has helped me, or how Pranit has helped me. And I've gone through a lot of coaches, including Pankaj's coach, Arvind Sagar also helped me out with my game. And it was good, but this was a whole new ball game. Made me look at
Yeah,
things
it is
in
a ball game.
snooker. It is. It made me look at snooker, approach the game a lot differently. Everyone says that you need to be confident to be a sportsman. I'm not confident, but I work hard at doing that, and Sight Right has changed the way I think about the game.
Every athlete feels the jitters. They have these phases of having those very low confidence phases and all that. But it's again, you top all of that and come out on top, and that's what a true athlete is, which you've done. And now we're going to go further and also ask you in terms of the finances that are involved in, like for you to travel, you said like it's about $1.5 lakh. Now, even for you to travel from say you're going to be representing Karnataka now, right? We go to the nationals. Is the board doing something for it, or will you have to fund it for yourself?
Well, the money is not that great. But when you win the state title, I think I got about 15, 20 grand, less than that. And that covers just your flight tickets. But it's just other expenses, your stay, your food, your travel, you commute within the city. All that does, you need a substantial amount of money to be able to do that, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to bring it up, but then I thought I should mention this. Yesterday when I said, why don't you come on Wednesday, you said, I'm going for an interview. You're going to give me a job or what? So I understand where this comes from in terms of, having the finances, sorted for yourself, because you have a family to run,
Yeah.
you also have a passion to feed. So in this, how do you manage this? Like, is there something extra that comes in? I'm sure the wife helps in too, but for you, I'm sure it must be like a baggage.
Yeah, it is, but it's just the want to do well that trumps everything else in the sport. I like to compete. I've always been that person. Haven't been the most naturally gifted athlete in any sport, but I work hard at it. I think that's what everyone needs to do. But in terms of financials, yes, my wife does help out a lot. I try and share the bills, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Sometimes it is difficult, very difficult, and to work a 9-hour shift and then find time to play snooker, which needs you to at least play, I wouldn't say 6 hours a day or 5 hours a day, but you need some sort of practice. But you're dead, so the only time I get to practice is mostly on the weekends. During the week, very rare. But when there's a tournament, I try and put in that hour at least every day to compensate for everything.
And
else.
then you compromising on your family time because you're practicing. Does that affect you?
You have to compromise on family time when you're practicing. It is like work. It is work because you're passionate about it. It doesn't seem like work. It seems like a passion. But you have to work hard at it to be wherever you are in any sport. And I think it's been really difficult for me in terms of doing both together.
Right.
But I wouldn't compromise
either
on. Yeah, I wouldn't do one thing to let go of the other, because that's what helps me concentrate on both. Like, I have to have snooker to be able to concentrate on work. I have to have work to be able to concentrate on snooker. So that is how it is. Unfortunately, the last couple of months, the company that I was working for shut down.
Oh.
And I said, okay, let me see what snooker does. I did well, managed to win a couple of tournaments, do rather decent, but
And these are not these loose tournaments, like people might think. When you're talking about it, it's happening in snooker parlors.
It is in a snooker parlor, but I think the snooker parlors have upgraded themselves, not
Okay.
like it was before. You have the same tables that you have in KSB, you have in most of the snooker parlors right now.
Wow.
So it is world-class tables. Bangalore is the place where you get the best table conditions anywhere you go.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you get.
So are you saying we also have great talent compared to most part of the country?
We have a lot of talent, but there's not much exposure in the sport. So that is why people refrain from doing it a lot of good. So the saying was, a lot of wasted years make a good snooker player. I don't think that should be the case.
Yeah.
I've done that. That's how I got into the game. But I was using that time that I had to do something.
It's more like waste years make a very regretful snooker player.
Yeah, it does. But now it's a lot different. They started doing it. They started having snooker in schools, colleges. So they're recognizing the sport, and that's a good thing. So it will move up. I think after 1992, snooker is a part of the national games this year,
Okay, nice.
which is happening in Goa on the 25th.
Will you be representing Karnataka?
I'm hoping to, but I think with the state title with the state championship around the corner, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
And that's happening when?
It starts on the 19th of this month.
Or September?
Yeah,
That's
19th
just
of
few
September,
days.
few days from
And where's
now.
it going to happen? Can the audience come back? Can they be?
Yeah, you can come and watch. It's at the Karnataka State Billiards Association, just off Queens Road, behind Cunningham Road. Yeah.
But it can't be like, the viewer comes, it's like watching a football match. Hey, put that ball in this thing. Because it's snooker, I know.
In the snooker room, you can actually hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
That's how quiet it is. But yeah, you have the odd phone going off and the angry glare from a player.
This is something I really want to ask. In cricket and in football, people have things to say to each other. To, try and make the player make some mistake, make them get a little erratic in the head and stuff. Have you done this? Has someone done this to you while at the table?
There's a lot of mind games that go on. It's not out there, but it's very subtle mind games. Like if I wanted someone to do bad, I'll say, you know what, the cushions are not playing that well. You get extra bounce from this cushion, and there's a drift on this side of the table. The ball set is not that heavy; it's very light.
Playing all false stories about the table.
So you'll have your opponent come into the table.
But not like, see, I'm sure, knowing you, the pranks that you kind of are, I was expecting you to somewhere like, you stand in the corner after your shot and someone's going to take very focused to take a shot and
No.
You don't know all that.
So that is not something I do. But yeah, I just play mind games with them, saying that you're playing well, but
I'm better.
Yeah, it's just the conditions are not suitable for your game, kind of a thing, and then they'll be all shaken up. It plays on your mind because it's a sport.
And also, is it because when you are playing, there's so much of silence around, right? It's dead silence, and you have to be focused. Any athlete, most parts of the game or in whatever they're representing, they will have a lot of thoughts running in their head, right? And if you don't have it clear, it's going, it's going to go all loose for you, right?
It's going to go haywire.
So, at that table, when it's dead silence, how hard is it for you to focus? What sort of thoughts are running out? Forget about the game, but other things like this guy doing something, someone putting their hand in the pocket, that noise also is something that
the slightest noise. Like I said, you can hear a pin drop. So even if that drops, you get up to see what happened. That's how quiet it is. When you're on the table, snooker is. I'm not sure of the sports psychologist that spoke about it, but it was deemed as one of the toughest sports in the world.
Okay.
Simply because if you take chess, which is a mind game, you have two people on either side playing the game at the same time. Tennis, cricket, you have your batsman, fielders, bowler. Football, you have your goalkeeper, and you have about 22 players on the field. But snooker is, or any cue sport for that matter, is difficult because while you're on the table, I'm sitting down, and there's nothing I can do while I'm sitting down. I can sit down for, say, 4-5 frames, or
just wait for it.
Yeah, just wait for an opportunity, and you may not get an opportunity for a good 15-20 minutes. If it's a slow player, maybe even more than that. Or if it's a player that's just going bonkers, spotting everything, you just break, you're sitting down. The next frame, your opponent breaks, you go play one shot, and he finishes off. So at that time, you've got so much going on in your head, like you're so down. And at that time, to go back on the table when you do get a chance, say in the half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour or so, which happens as you climb up the ladder, to go there and to be able to win a game from there, from sitting down for like 35-40 minutes to go and win a game, or being 2-0 down and trying to go and win a game, is difficult. But it's just the mental strength that they have, or any snooker player has, or anyone that plays cue sport has, is that never say die attitude.
Right.
which is there in a lot of games, but you're not sitting there most of the time waiting for your chance to get through.
Because this is not something where you have the bat in your hand to run for yourself, because you have to wait for someone to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that decides your fate in the game.
That decides your fate, and it's just one chance. You have to make the most of the opportunity. Take your time, figure out what you want to do, plan an entire game, not an entire game. That is with pool, but you're looking at 3-4 shots ahead when you're playing snooker, or when you're playing billiards. You're looking at the position of the balls to try and make sure that everything is in place. It is difficult, but you're just looking at the situation. You don't, when you're on the table, you don't think of what happened. You think of what you can make with the situation that you have.
So what is the difference between playing snooker and billiards, or pocket billiards?
Billiards is played with 3 balls.
Okay.
Sounds wrong. 3 balls. You have 2 strikers, which is the yellow and the white ball, which has got spots on them, and then you have your red ball.
So these are not the same balls that are used for snooker.
No, it's different.
Okay.
So the red ball looks more or less the same. It's a plain red ball, but you have the 2 strikers, which is the white and the yellow. The only way you can score is one by potting, which is there in all cue sports, and an in-off. So an in-off is putting your striker in the pocket of your opponent's striker or the red ball.
Okay.
So that's how you score.
I'll have to go back on the video and understand again.
So yeah, it's slightly complicated, but when you watch the
Start
game,
playing,
when you start
it.
playing, it's easier to know. So you score by either potting, making an in-off, or playing a cannon.
Okay.
All right, that's how you score in billiards. Snooker is pretty straightforward. You pot a red. After every red, you pot a color, which is, you have 6 colors on the table: yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, and black.
And would you like to give us a score that each ball stands?
The red is 1 point, yellow is 2, green is 3, brown 4, blue 5, pink 6, and black 7. So the maximum you can score, the maximum break is a 147, which a lot of people aspire.
So when you say a break is like when you take the first shot, you end with all the balls spotting, or you make a mistake.
You don't give your opponent a chance.
Chance.
So when you start, from start to finish, spotting all blacks, 15 blacks with the 6 colors thereafter, which is 27 points. That's 147 points.
What is your highest?
My highest playing with someone is 138.
Wow.
138.
Just 9 shot, Macha. Just 9 shots.
9 shot. Yeah,
Maybe
but,
need a fine shot.
but a couple of days ago, I was able to put my first maximum.
Oh wow.
And that was practicing solo. That doesn't count for me. So I'm just is when you're playing a match or you're playing with someone. If you put it, that means more to me. But yeah, I managed to put my first maximum break. I was on top of the world. Called my coach. Told my wife. Told everyone around. It felt good now that I know that I've done it. Makes it easier for me to do it the next time. But yeah, that is the dream, to get a maximum at a world championship, or to get a maximum at nationals or state level.
I know
That's
you're taking
the
it step
dream.
by step. The next is the state championship, then the national games.
Mhm.
But what is like your ultimate dream?
The ultimate dream for any snooker player is to play at the Crucible.
And
in
that
the
is
UK, at Sheffield in the UK. That is the hub of Q Sports. That is
Okay.
the what would you say? Like Lords is to cricket. Sheffield, snooker is to Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand it's not just the distance from here till there, but it's also the finances that take you from here till there. So just because I know there are a lot of individual athletes who get sponsors from people around.
Mhm.
Have you tried that route, like to help you?
I've had a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
people sponsor me. Maybe not for the second time, but they would do it the first time. And I've got a lot of people to help me out, and I'm very grateful for that. Companies have sponsored. As a matter of fact, last time I got a small sponsor from Prestige as well, which was very, very helpful.
Mhm.
So you have a lot of I've had a lot of individuals, thankfully, that help me with the sport and help me travel and get my cue as well. But it's not that it happens all the time. I had One Creations, a company that does events, help me out last year. So it's a mixture. Maybe they will do it again, maybe they wouldn't. But you can't hold that against them because it's not. I haven't performed at the best when I go for nationals, so I don't blame them. But yeah, every individual that's contributed to my growth and my success in the sport, I deeply appreciate it.
And this comes in maybe, would you take it because these are people you know, or these are people that have actually liked how you play and see your potential?
A lot of people have liked how I play and seen the potential and helped me out, but sometimes it's just random people that we get in touch with and they help me out as well. So it is difficult when you don't have something that helps you, pays you to play the sport. But you got to do what you have to do.
And talking about people who like how you play and stuff, I'm sure you got a lot of compliments. Some are just sugar coated and stuff, but some genuine ones that really touched you. What were they like?
Genuine ones, a lot of them actually.
I mean, you heard Pankaj tell you what you just spoke of it.
Yeah, Pankaj. That was the first time Pankaj ever saw me. So we didn't know each other then, and I was just like, when you start with the game, you're just spotting balls from everywhere, and he saw me and he said, "You're a great player born in the wrong country."
Wow.
And now I know why it is, because of the financial situation. But I looked at him and I just smiled. I didn't have much to say then, because it's Pankaj.
Yeah.
I didn't have much to say. Now it's a different ball game. Now both of us practice a lot. Both of us are real good friends. He speaks about how much I've improved in the last year or two, and for the first time I think he went for a tournament. He went for a tournament in Kolkata, and he called me and he said, "Bro, over World Championship, I'm not sure," and he said, "Thank you so much. You've helped me improve my game so much." And I was like, "Really, me?" And he said, "No, the way you play the game now, the approach to the game, practice for us is very serious. Like, we are friends off the table, but on the table we want to win. Like, it is competing with each other." And I've learned a lot from him. And he said that you've improved so much. My coach, Pranit, who's brought me from the ground up and helped me with my game. One of the biggest things that I've ever got, biggest compliments that I've got, is from Stephen Feeney, who is the founder of SiteRight, who said that he's never seen anyone with even remotely with half of the Q power that I generate. He said, you're the one person I've seen with the most amount of Q power ever, and that was a big compliment for me, coming from one of the coaches that trains professionals. But yeah, all of that is down to SiteRight. Like how you would time a cricket ball, it's the same thing, but here we end up hitting the ball as compared to timing it. But there's such a big difference when you start timing the ball. It's just the finesse that comes with it. It takes a while to get. A lot of players have it. A lot of players don't know they have it. I was one who didn't know I had it. But it just makes things a lot easier.
It's years of hard work and of course unlearning and learning new things.
Oh yeah, I did that in 2018, and I wouldn't regret that decision. I think that's one of the very few decisions that I don't regret, and that is dropping everything and going through SiteRight, trying to approach the game the right way, the SiteRight way, and
now you're siding right.
I know it's slightly left, but I am
this is something I want to ask, man. Like, so I've seen people who had great eyesight, or maybe they had good eyesight, they could see things. But when it comes to snooker, they use these glasses. Even you use them, right? So has that affected in the way you see generally, like your sight? No, because you're playing the game with so much of focus, and you're stressing on your eyes to look at what you're looking at, right? And that tends to kind of play a certain role in giving a little bit of a blurred vision without glasses later.
No, actually, when I started, I never used to use glasses.
Right.
So I was just playing half blind, trying to understand playing more on feel and what you know. But then I moved on to using contacts, which when it dries out, it becomes very difficult, because there your eyes do get stressed. Glasses, because glasses work out for me like really well. I have no issues with that. There's no stress on my eyes. But it just makes the game a lot easier. Whether you have perfect 20/20 vision or whether you use glasses, the stress on your eyes is still the same. But it's not as bad when you have like good vision, and it's not bad when you have glasses. You have to just find. Some players play with their contacts. You just need to find what's right for you, I guess.
Okay, because I kind of feel like, I mean, not like I played every time. Whenever I play, it's like so much of a stress and a sore on the eyes. And by the time I finally figured it out, I know I'm not hitting ball, I'm hitting something else. I probably cushioned it or something. But yeah, man, like, I'm going to wish you the best for whatever that's coming up. And I hope to see you become state champion again.
I would love to do that.
And
Yeah.
also national champion, of course. And I would love, what do I say? I said proudly go around claiming, but that's my friend only. He's my paya from the area.
Fire from the area. Yeah. Well, it's an absolute. I cannot. Words cannot justify how happy I am in terms of what I've achieved. I worked hard at it. A lot of people know that, and I've climbed up the ladder, and hopefully I can stay there with the state championship coming through this month. So yeah, just hope for the best and try and do the best that I can.
One last question. Just in terms of the best place to play snooker in Bangalore for someone who's starting off.
For someone who's starting off, if you're below 21, KSBA, that is everything to do with Q Sports. If you're above 21 and you have enough money to spend, Bangalore Snooker Academy, one of the best facilities around. One of the best facilities around. You can go there. That's just off MM Road. You can go there and have World Championship.
I thought the way you said remember you can go there and have some rolls.
It's close by. You can have it's just next door. But yeah, they have the best facilities around, and yeah, those two places. And you have your clubs, of course.
Right. And in terms of KSBA, do people have to become members to play there?
If, like I said, if you're below 21, you can get a talent category membership.
All right.
After 21, you need to either be a member or be a part of the top 8 to get a 1-year membership. So you can keep
This is
moving
you
it forward.
have to become top 8 to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So are you member of KSBA now?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Congratulations.
I did.
And I'm going to say this congratulations to the many more trophies you'll be winning in the future.
Thank you so much, dear.
Cheers.
Cheers.